Good evening. It's Wednesday, May 30th. I'm Patricia Villone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Thank you for joining us. A recent 4-to-1 vote by the Prince George's Planning Board to approve plans for a Walmart on Oxon Hill Road has some residents and environmental activists outraged. Tonight, they're talking to CTV News about their many concerns over the project, which is slated to include a 101,000 square foot store, a fire station, office space, and a parking lot. The Peterson Companies is developing the new site known as the Potomac Business Park between the Clarion Hotel and John Hanson Montessori School.
Concern is that they actually allow overnight campers to park on their property. As a parent, that's very scary to know that somebody has access to the surroundings where our small children are on a daily basis.
As well as the health concerns that the construction and the dust will leave behind.
Absolutely. We're a Montessori program, and in that we have our small classrooms, and the children are working very diligently but very quietly. The noise pollution is one area of concern, but we also use our outdoor spaces, and the environmental pollution is a huge risk for our children.
First, we want to let the planning board know that we are very disappointed in their decision to greenlight this project. Obviously, this project is not ideal for this property because of the variety of variances they needed in order to have it move forward. Our next step is to go to the county council, where we believe we will be successful because they are in more tune with their constituents. The majority of our parent body is opposed to this. We have submitted 100 letters to the planning board. We also submitted a copy to Councilman O.B. Patterson's office, so he's well aware of our opposition, and we're going to make it known that we oppose having a Walmart right next door to our school to the other county council members as well.
Walmart has not responded to our request for comment on this issue. According to the developer's website, the project is scheduled to open in the summer of 2013.
Prince George's will get an additional $10 million to help homeowners and communities affected by the housing crisis. Maryland recently secured nearly $1 billion in a national mortgage servicing settlement. Of that, $60 million has been allocated to boost housing, counselor, and legal aid programs, as well as provide community stabilization enforcement and fraud prevention. Under the settlement, servicers are required to contact borrowers directly regarding cash payments, refinancing, or other loan modifications. But the Attorney General's office says don't wait to hear from the banks. A series of hotlines have been set up for handling claims under this agreement. If you have had a mortgage with Ally, GMAC, Bank of America, Countrywide, or Citibank, as well as JP Morgan Chase, WAMU, Wells Fargo, or Wachovia, contact these servicers directly. Well, banks are skimming millions of dollars in fees from student aid using debit cards that link to student IDs. According to the Maryland Public Interest Research Group, the cards come with high fees, insufficient consumer protections, and few options. The report, called the Campus Debit Card Trap, says banks now control or influence federal financial aid disbursement to more than 9 million students using this method. For decades, students received their aid by check without being charged any fees to access their student aid. Now students pay anywhere from 50 cents per swipe of the card to overdraft fees of $38.
The former administrator of a local charity is facing federal charges for allegedly stealing more than $100,000 from the organization. According to court documents, an audit of the nonprofit Arc of Prince George's revealed that Penny Parker Green stole between $136,000 and $166,000. The Bowie woman allegedly used funds and an Arc credit card to buy clothing, furniture, and a trip, and then forged documents to make it look like the items were for clients. The Largo-based organization assists people with disabilities and their families. Her attorney is not commenting on the allegations.
In addition to criminal conviction, a campaign consultant to former Governor Robert Ehrlich will now have to pay a civil penalty. Julius Henson and his company Universal Elections must pay $1 million in damages for violations of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Henson placed more than 100,000 robocalls to African-American Democrats on Election Day 2010, telling listeners to relax and not worry about going to the polls because their candidates had already won. Henson was convicted of conspiracy this month for organizing the calls. His sentencing is scheduled for June 13th. Ehrlich's campaign manager, Paul Shurik, was sentenced to home detention, community service, and a lengthy probation. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Villone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.